My name is Nelsy Peppler, and I'm going to be presenting tips on getting Google organized. So while you're joining, I'm going to share my screen so I can give you a little introductory video of who I am, and also share the presentation with you and ask you to put in the chat. It's called a 3-word introduction. So your name and your district and a word to describe your job. So if you just want to go ahead, for example, I'll put in the chat now. Let me just make sure it says to everyone. I know it won't let me put a message to everyone in the chat.
No worries. Try it again.
Okay. It still says, oh, there it is. Yep. Okay, so for example, I'm just going to write Nelsy, Worcester, and intake. So there you go. So there's the sample. So while you're doing that, I'm going to share my screen and my introduction video. Oh, there it is. Okay. So you should be able to see that. And I'm going to go to the next one. Can everyone see that in full? So here we are. And then I'm going to try. Let's hope this works. This is the video that I used to become a Google certified trainer. Oh, look at that. And this is the introduction. Of course, this is what it did yesterday. Then the end it worked. I'll just give it a minute, and then if it doesn't work, oh, there it is. Let's go.
Hola, bienvenidos and bom dia.
I hope you can hear it.
I'm multilingual. My name is Nelsy Peppler, and I love the color purple, education, and my family to pieces. I work in Worcester, Massachusetts, a highly populated city with over 70 languages spoken. As a Google certified trainer, I will impact student performance by training teachers, staff, and families to utilize Google's unique and powerful tools to better access the world's electronic resources. Google's mission to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful resonates with me as I believe in the power of being biliterate, bicultural, and bilingual. We have over 9,000 active L students. We must do all we can to meet their diverse needs. Through excellent Google training and connecting our teachers to local and global resources, we can go above and beyond all expectations. Here is just one idea. To coordinate our monthly professional development department meetings around 7 different school release schedules, our department chose to have online PD once a month using a Google Shared Drive. To implement, I followed these steps. First, I created the shared drive. Then I added our managers of English learner programs, coaches, and myself as managers of the drive. After that, I added the teachers to the shared drive as contributors only. Next, we created and pushed out a digital form called Introduction to Shared ESL Resources folder to explain and model the benefits of using a shared drive. In this PD, teachers only explored the folders in the shared drive that the coaches had designed and put activities for them to complete. For example, teachers had to find a folder, open it up, find the document, and click on a link to an online article that they had to read and respond to on a live Google Doc. Once teachers became comfortable with using shared drive, the next PD had them contributing to the shared drive through a set of video examples on the steps needed to do so. In addition, teachers were also given guidelines on what materials were allowed, such as non-copyright materials, and that any materials would be periodically reviewed and removed if not appropriate. At the end of the PD, the majority of teachers were comfortable with using and contributing to our L department shared drive. We received positive feedback about the use and ease of our shared drive. As one teacher said, the shared drive was great and I would recommend using it in any district that has a large number of teachers wishing to collaborate on helping English learners succeed. I don't think I could have said it better.
So that is like I said, that's the video that I used to become a Google certified trainer. And in order to do that, you have to get your Google Google certified educator level 1 and level 2. So I just let you know that's something that you all could do. It's certainly not, it took me about a year. Usually takes about a year to go through the 2 levels and getting ready for the trainer certification. So I see that people put in their chat where they're from and what they do, words to describe what they do. So I think it looks like we have some SPED teaching assistants, coordinators, facility people work in facilities, transportation. So that's great. So I hope this training helps you in your work, in your daily work. So let's continue to the next one. So as I said, we were logging in, saying hello in the chat. You might want to grab pen and paper as you take notes. You might want to take some notes. We don't have a lot of time. As you know, we only have an hour and a half and with logistics and everything. So I will be going through once I get started. I'll be introducing or reviewing 7 platforms in Google. So I'll start talking fast and showing you a lot of things. The good thing is each platform, there's a video that will walk you through the step-by-steps of what I'm talking about. And in the breakout sessions, you'll have a chance to either watch the videos and just watch the videos and take more notes or practice on your own. So that's that. So this is the agenda for today. We're just going to into introductions and warm up. I believe there was a poll question that I wanted to go out. Yep, there it is. So even before we get started, I just wanted people to rate their own, we call it, Google proficiency level. Oh, well, that's, so, as people are listening to the agenda, just answer the poll question. It looks like people are somewhere between 0 and 4, kind of like the English proficiency level. So while we're doing that, then we have the go over objectives and pre-survey. We'll go over the model, the I do, we do, and then we'll try it in breakout rooms, and then closing and exit slip. All right, so there's another minute. We can leave that up while people are still ending. Oh, awesome. Inez just said that we're recording this session, so we also, we can refer to it. And in addition, I'll send you, once you complete the exit poll or the exit survey, at the end, I'll send you the link to that. And once you complete that, you'll get back a message with the link to this, to a copy of this presentation. So. All right, so I'm not sure. I know we had just waiting for a few more answers, or is that about everybody?
Nope, that's everyone. I'm just sharing the poll results now.
Oh yeah, that's okay. So it looks like the majority of people kind of in the middle here with I can get by. But it's always good to learn more. So, and some people are new to Google, which is also great because you'll find it very useful. All right, awesome. I'm gonna click that out. Okay, go to the next one. Why can't? Oh boy. Oh, there we go. Okay, so these are our objectives for today. After participating in this, I would like you all to be able to model these useful tips to teachers, parents, faculty, anybody you work with. Really, that's how you really know you've learned the skills, is if you can model and teach others. Hope you'll be able to implement the tools and some add-ons in G Suite for families, so that they have easier accessibility to talking with us and important documents. And hopefully you'll be able to evaluate and critique the effectiveness of the learned tools and which ones are better for you to use. So those are the objectives. If there's any questions, feel free, to, put them in the chat. If I can't get to them, like I said, I'm going to be going pretty fast. So, there'll be some time, hopefully at the end, for questions. But even if I can't get to all the questions, we can arrange for, either via email or actually through Google Meet or another Zoom meeting, a one-on-one coaching session. So hopefully we'll get your questions answered. Okay, so that's the objective. So I did give out a pre-survey. I know it went out and I saw people completing it. So it looks like about 56% of the responses wanted us to focus today on organizing their Google Drive and managing data via the Google Sheets and Docs. So those are the three main platforms we're going to go over today. So let's see. So this is how it will go. I know some of you who work in special ed and in the schools and the classrooms have heard of this model. It's called the I do, we do, you do. So simple, but it actually makes a lot of sense. And just so you know, I did spend 23 years in the classroom. And then I recently, like I said in my introduction, I recently left to become a secondary system-wide department head for the English learners. So I work at the Parent Information Center. I help oversee intake and screening of our Ls. So I definitely have teaching background in my background. So anyway, so as I was saying, I've used this model in the classroom and with adults in training, and it seem to work pretty well. So as I said, I'm going to show you the different skills in session 1, hopefully getting Google organized as far as your Drive, your Gmail, your contacts, Translate, and Calendar. For each one of those platforms, there are so many tools and tips and strategies that you can use. I certainly am not going to be able to cover all of them. And if it's up to you all, if you feel that you want to stay just in the Drive and Gmail, the first 2, or even if we just spend in the Drive, we could do that. So as we go through, you can tell me in the chat, if we should, move along to the next one, or if we should, spend more time in that one. Then, like I said, we'll have practice time in the breakout room. So you can pick your room, and Inez will put you in the right room, and I'll try to visit each breakout room. It'll be a short, short time, maybe 5 to 7 minutes in the breakout room, but it might give you just a time to practice. You should have, if you can, have your Google Drive. If you have a Google Drive, the G Suite, you should, have the platform that we're working in open as a side tab, if you can. If you can't, that's okay. Like I said, you're going to see it and then have time later. If you don't have a G Suite because you don't have a Google account, that's okay too. You can just, like I said, just watch and see what can be done, and we can, in the breakout room or after, I can show you how to set up a Google account. It's very easy and it's free. And then after, so that'll be session 1, and then after that, session 2 will be the Google Docs and Google Sheets with accessibility and extensions. And if you have a practice one, just an old Google Sheet that you worked on before, or Google Doc, it's always good to have that open so you can follow along. All right, so there are no questions. Oh, let me see in the chat. So, okay, so yeah, if there are no other questions, we're going to keep going. Keep going. Oops. There we go. Okay, so all things Google. So the first thing I want to show you, even before we do the first platform, is the some common Google or Chrome words. Now these aren't official. These are just, Google by no means says these are the words you have to use, but these are just some of the words that we use in the Google. The biggest one really is this one right here. It's called the Google waffle, or just the waffle. Everybody said will tell you, click on the waffle, and that has all your different apps, platforms. It's also known, all of this is also known as the G Suite. So you'll hear me say that. These 3 lines, in the classroom, we call them the hamburger. They're your settings. To access the Chrome. That's if you have Chrome.
Nelsy, I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt and just say, okay. I believe I think that's your chat window that's blocking part of the words on the screen.
I'm sorry, say again?
I believe your chat, I think it's your chat window, but there's a window of some sort that's blocking off part of your presentation screen. Yeah, I think that's
someone said there's a black square blocking part of the PowerPoint again. Is that my chat? Is that better? Oh, now I closed it. Let me close it out. How's that?
Better.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, I was just trying to see if there's sorry, this is different for me. Like I said, I'm a Google person, so I use Google Meet, which is a little bit different than Zoom. I mean, we also use Zoom too. I just find it really interesting that I'm using Zoom to present a Google and Chrome, Google, all things Google, but that's okay. We're doing just fine. Sorry. I'll try to go a little faster to get to, but I just want people to know, basically, these are just common terms that people use. The waffle, the hamburger, I just call these the 3 dots, but they call them the snowman. And then there's one more that's not here. It's called the shish kebab. The one that's not here is called the gear. That's that little tool that's usually at the top, looks It looks like a little gear. So we'll refer to that. That helps your settings as well. Okay, so the first one is your workspace, your Google Drive. So if you have your Google Drive open, I can show you how, I'm going to go through that now. So this one, this blue one where it says priority, that is a link to a video, but I'm not going to play it. I'm just going to show you what it looks like. So these three things are all happening in your Google Drive under the triangle. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. So this is so I work obviously in Worcester, and we created an account, the ELL office. So this is kind of like a sample account. So you can see here, my drive, my sample drive. And I'm just gonna quickly go through. So priority, that's right here. And the best thing about priority, one is the quick access at the top. You can see here that these are the documents, things that I've been working on most recently. So it goes to about the top 10 or so. So if you're looking for something and you can't find it, and you know that you just worked on it, you could look in priority. The next best thing about priority is what I call workspaces, or they call workspaces. Now you'll see under the list of quick access documents, it should say workspaces and then this blue button, create. So workspaces to me is like, when we're in the classroom, we use a lot of paper. It's just like basically just different folders with the different important documents that you use. So for example, today we are using, I'm using a lot of Google training material. So if I wanted to create a workspace, I would hit create. I would title my workspace Google Training Example. And then all I do is hit create. And then it even gives you obviously it's telling you, would you like to get started by adding files to your workspace? And the answer is yes. So I click add files. And then I go, and up here, let's say I know the exact name of what I'm looking for. I would just type in the name of what I was looking for. So for example, let's say I was looking for the exit poll. And it found that in this Getting Google Organized presentation. So I would click on this. So obviously this is an example. So I'd click on this, and then I would just scroll down. Maybe I'll just move my screen up. Yep. And you'll see that says insert. So I just hit insert, and there it is. And if I want to add more, I could click that, and I could click on, so recent is nice. That's everything, again, kind of like priority, the things that you've worked on before. My drive, everyone sometimes gets confused between the different names. So my drive is the kind of like your personal folder. So these are all things in here. Maybe they're and you have them organized by folders, but they're also documents, form sheets, whatever it is that you create that you don't want to share with other people yet. You can share them if you want to, but you haven't shared them yet. So that's why it says My Drive. You can't rename My Drive something. You have to keep calling it it's just, that's what it's called, My Drive. Shared with Me is just a running list of everything that anyone has ever shared with you via Google. Again, you can't erase anything from the shared with me. Don't even try. People have tried. You cannot, because like I said, it's a running list. It doesn't really, you're not the owner of that document. So you can't obviously delete it or you know, put it anywhere because it's shared with you. And then we'll get back to this. This is starred. I'll show you that. That's pretty neat. That's under priority too. And then this is actually computers if you wanted to upload something from your computer. So I'm just going to X that out because we've already showed. So that's how you add something to your Google, to your workspace. Okay, so we did priority. Like I said, there are, the other big thing I wanted to share here is the starred. So you can see that, right? Starred is just, it's kind of like putting a star next on an important document that you don't want to lose in a pile of documents. So that one you want to pay special attention. So it's telling Google that this is something that you want to remember and have access to easily. So you can see that, like I said, this is just my example, but all of these different things I have starred because I need them, you know, almost every day, or I want to have access to them. So in order to star something, it's very easy. Oh my goodness. You just go to the document. So I'm just going to click on one so you can see what it looks like. Hopefully it won't. Okay. And we're not looking at the names, but we have to wait for it to open up. It's working on it. So you can see right there, when you open up a document or a sheet or anything, there's a yellow star. And if you haven't starred it, it will be blank. So if I unclick that, see, it's just an outline of a star. But when I click it, that adds it to my star list. So then I come over here and see, there it is. It appears in the starred list. So I highly recommend the starred for any important documents that you want access to quickly and easily, because rather than having to do a search in your drive, although you can do a search, it's very easy. That's up here. This is called the obviously the search bar. And then this bar up here, a lot of people don't know, but we call that the omni bar. But you can do a search for anything. If you type in the name, it will, if it appears in any, if the words are in any document, form, sheet, video, anything, it will appear here. You can also click advanced search, and you can tell it specifically, you know, are you looking for a PDF, document, presentation. Let's say you can't think of the name, or you're not quite sure, but you know that it was, you know, shared with you with your boss. You can click on owner. You know that your boss or whoever, you know them, you can type in their name. You can tell it to look anywhere, in the trash, like I said, in your starred, anywhere you'd like. You can even tell by the time when you, let's say you know it was just recently or in the past week, you can tell, you know, anytime, but that's obviously a big search. since it's any time that you've had a Google account, or, you can even customize it even beyond any of these. So they do try to make it easier if you to find what your name. And then obviously, like any search, it has, does it match entirely, any words in the file, all of that. And then you would just hit search. And also here's that gear that I was talking about. It's your settings. So how are we doing on time? Looking, sorry. Okay, so we went through in the time that I wanted, we went through the workspace. I guess I'd like to look in the chat and see how, do we want to go to a breakout room now to just try to set up our drive organized a little better? Or do we want to, want me to continue with labels with Gmail and G Suite? Let me see. I'm just going to open the chat here. Everyone like me to continue? Okay. So it looks like continue. Okay. So if we don't have time to practice, I apologize. But I know, like it seemed that when one of the questions I asked was, how do we best learn? And a lot of people said, they like to listen and see and then try it on their own later. So we might end up doing that. Yes, someone asked if you don't have workspaces, it can be added. It's under priority, like I show you. How do you get something to be a priority? That's a good question. You make it by putting a star on it. So once it's in the star, it becomes a priority. You can also click, see here where it says under new, you can click priority and that will show out something. That will start showing up there. But in priority, see here where it says workspaces.
Nelsy, I'm going to interrupt that. There's another screen covering again, covering the presentation.
Oh, you don't?
Your screen, your share screen.
I'm sorry, say again.
There's another gray or black screen in front of the
sorry.
screen.
It's just like I said, I was trying to read the chat.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
No problem.
Yeah, so your priority, it has to be clicked under new. You should see the words priority. It might be something to do with your administration setup too, or it could also be in the gear under settings. So we can look at that. I'll make sure that how to access it. So honestly, I feel like it just appeared one in my at the beginning of the year. It might have something to do with your administration. If you're going through your school, and how they set it up. So I'll check into that to make sure. I'll get back to you. But to create the workspace, it's right here under your quick access documents. And then it says workspaces, and this word button, create, you can see it's in, it will probably be ghosted for you because if you haven't created a workspace, but once you hit that, it should say add a workspace or create workspace. It might be further down if you don't have any workspaces. So like I said, that's what we were going to use the breakout rooms to see, people wanted help with that, but I think most of us want us to continue. So I'm going to close, go to my my Gmail now. So I'm going to go to my, what's this called? Anybody? Remember what we call this? The waffle. So, yep.
Waffles.
Yep, I went through that in there.
Waffle.
So my waffle. Then I'm going to click on my Gmail. Again, this is the, the sample Gmail. And it's just going to take a little bit of time. Actually, I think I already, let me just click on this one. Oh, no. Okay, I'm just going to close that out. Just because I'm trying not to have too many windows open. Okay, yeah, that's a repeat. Okay. Okay, so this is the sample email. You can see that I sent to this account from my personal Gmail account or my work Gmail. I sent myself some files. Like I said, just as an example. So the nice thing about Gmail, or the nice thing about Google, is that most of the platforms are interactive in the sense that you can get to them from from one to the other easily. So for example, you'll see here I sent myself the exit ticket. So if I want to put that in my folder, right? So see right here where it says not starred. If I click that, it becomes starred. And just like starred in your Google Drive, it becomes starred in your email, and that you can use that to tell yourself that this is an important message that you need to you need to do something with, whatever it is. So for me, that would be to put it in the Google Drive. Now you can also put it in your drive by, let's see, no, I'm gonna print it. There should be, maybe I picked the, you know what, I think because I created it, let me just, sorry. That's another form, maybe because it's a, okay, because it's a form, that's right, it's asking me to open it up. Okay, sorry about that. One more thing, I just want to see this one. It should be asking in your email next to the start, if someone shares something with you, it will say, there'll be a little Google Drive, those three little triangles up there will be right here so that you can click on it and add it to your Google Drive. But it's not there because this is a form. Apparently it doesn't work. Even if I add myself as collaborator, it doesn't work for forms, but it will be there if it's a document or a sheet or a presentation, it will be there. Okay, so I wanted to show you in Gmail the neat thing. There's so many neat things, but one of the neatest things that I've used is called templates. So you would have to go to your gear. The first thing you have to do is tell Google or tell Gmail that you want to use templates. So you go to your gear under settings, and you go to see all settings, and you go to advanced, and you can see down here that it says templates. And templates is just basically a saved copy of an email that you send out a lot of times. So if you want to send an email out to, let's say you send it out this month, and then you're going to send the same email next month, and then in another month, you get the idea. So it's an email that you are sending out frequently or to a lot of people that you don't want to obviously have to keep rewriting. So you want to enable that. So right now, for most of you, might say disable. So you just click on enable. And then because you made a change, you want to make sure you go down and hit save changes. Obviously, I have mine the way I want it, so this is ghosted. But for yours, if you change anything that you want to save, hit save changes. And then you go back to your inbox, you're all set with that. So you just click back on your inbox. Now, so let's say I want to send an email that I'm going to be sending again and again. So I go to compose and I'm going to pick a subject. Let's just say test template. And I'm just going to send it to myself. 3 gmail.com. Okay, so, and then I'm just gonna in here say, hi, this is a test, or this is a demo. So then I go to these 3 dots and I hit templates. Now in this example, I have no saved templates, but if I had saved one, it would come up there. So I'm going to go to save draft as template. So I click that. And I'm going to say again, because I don't have any templates saved, it's going to, that's ghosted. So I'm going to say save as new template. And I click that. That's the name of it. The name comes from the subject. So if you have something in the subject, that's what it will put there. And then I just hit save. And now, so I could send it. But now let's say I want to send this to somebody else and I didn't feel like, pretending it's a long email. I don't feel like writing the whole thing again. So I go to compose. I click those 3, instead of starting to type in, I just click those 3 dots, go to templates, and there it is, test template. And there it is. So now I don't have to write everything again. So now this time I'll send it to my daughter. She won't mind. She'll just say, Mom, what is this? Okay, and off it goes. So that's templates, very useful. I use them a lot. If I showed you my regular account, you would see that I have lots of templates. Another thing that's also very useful in Gmail is labels. You can see if I scroll down here, I have lots of, well, even in this, sample full Gmail account, I have lots of labels. You can see all of them. So let's say, I'm getting from some schools, elementary schools, I'm getting their forms. I would put them in this folder. So you can see I created a label. So labels is just another name for folders. I think Google went away from using the word folders because, that's what Microsoft uses. So they went into using the word labels, but it's just another name for saying folders. And so let's say, like this one that I just got, I want to put in a folder. So in my inbox, I just click on the one that I'm working with. And you see all these things come up. And this little arrow right here says move to. You just click on that. And I can put it in any folder that I've created. Now, if I wanted to create a new folder, I would just go to create new. I'd enter the name, test folder. The nice thing is you can test your folder, or you can put your folder, your label, whatever, under something else if you want to. Or if you want to just make a brand new one, you could do that too. But if I wanted to put that test folder under the folder that I created, which was, and of course my phone. I'm trying to see. Let's just say I wanted to put it in hiring. Oh, here it is, test setup, right? So I could put it in this folder. And then I would just say, create. Oh, fabulous. And then it tells me that it did it. And then this nice button is undo. You can also set up in your gears in your settings if you want how much time you want for your undo actions. So let's say you sent an email too soon. You can set it up for, to undo it. So that message, that black bar that just showed up, will show up for 5 seconds, 10 seconds, however long you set it up for. And that's under the gear in settings. So that's how you create a new label, and that's how you add things to the label. Also in Gmail, let's say you have an email that you want to have translated. So you want, let's say you're writing to a family or someone that doesn't, speak English. You can type it out. So I'm just going to say to translate. And then you can click up here. Now, for some of you, like I said, this is an extension, Google Translate. Some of you might be familiar with it already and already know how to, how to access it. But for those of you who don't, you would access this through your extensions, and you would add Google, and you access your extensions through this black. These are all your extensions. Manage extensions. You can also access your extensions through more tools under extensions. So you add, so for Google Translate, you would just click on Google Translate and then translate this page. And now everything, as you can see, has been translated because I've set it for Spanish because I do a lot work with Spanish-speaking community, so I have everything translated to Spanish. And then if you are all done, you could just click on show original text, or you could click on this button here. Let's say you want to put it in another language. Go pick any language you want. I don't know, let's just try Igbo. I hear a lot of Igbo. Again, Google Translate, just so you know, is not perfect by any means. Google Translate will even, they'll tell you that all the time. It's not to be used, for official IEP documents or, other obviously official documents, but it can be used for, communication and, informal emails or conversation. The nice thing about Google Translate is that it's accessible also through your phone, iPhone, obviously it's a Google product, which works very closely with, with iPhones and iProducts, but you can use your phone, and it has a very neat feature on it where you can it's called the image, and it holds over, you hold your phone over the document and it translates to whatever language it is you want it. It's not, again, it's not perfect, and depending on what kind of system you have, it can, it can be a little off, but it is very, very useful. It also has conversation on that phone. So if you're having a conversation, let's say you can't get to your language line or whoever it is that you use for translating, or you don't have anyone available, if you have Google Translate on your phone, there's a little microphone, you click on that and you speak obviously English or whatever, whatever language you speak, you have it set up for, and then it will translate that into another language. So it's very useful. But let's say you're all done, you want to go back to the original, you just hit and goes back to whatever your original settings. So once you add on Google Translate and you click that button, if you want to, change the settings or whatever, you would just open it up by clicking Google Translate, and that will open up the Google Translate web page that helps organize this. So that's Google Translate, but also on Gmail. So a lot of teachers, people who work in education, we use that to talk to, families if we, can't, like I said, can't get to the language line. Okay, I'm just gonna open the chat just so I can see how we're doing. Goodness, what time is? Oh, people want to. Someone had a question. What does the word parent mean? Please select a parent. Where did it say that? I must have missed that. Can come off. Let me go back. Can you make Google look like Outlook, or is that a bad idea? I mean, it depends. Again, that's a specific question. I'm not quite sure what you mean by looking like. You mean your Gmail? You want it to look like Outlook? You can, depending on the different labels. Yeah, you can set up the labels and things to look like that. I don't know. We could talk about that a little bit more. I need more specific on that one. The people you send be also the same. I'm not sure what you mean, like the people that you send the message to in the other language. And then again, parent, I think parent means like the parent language. Sorry, not quite. I'll have to look into these questions a little bit more.
Can I clarify my question? I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm going to stop sharing for a minute.
When you were talking about the template, you said when you send it, it would be the exact same message. And I was wondering if you send the exact same message with the people who you initially sent the message to.
Oh, no. I understand. Sorry. Yeah. So you would, when you send it, the template, when you call up the template, you can change whoever you want to send it to. So for example, yeah, I sent it to, I send a lot of emails to different high schools. Worcester, we have 8 high schools. So I might send the same message to the high school asking for the same information but different, about different students. So I would just change the template. I would call up the template, change it a little bit to add the students that I'm talking about, and then send it to each high school that I wanted. Another good thing, though, I forgot to tell everybody in Gmail is the BCC. If you, let's say you do have something that you want to send to a lot of people, and it's the same, like let's say I wanted to send a message to everybody here, but I didn't want you to know, each person to know the other people's address or information, email address or information that I was sending. If you click in the BCC line instead of the to, you don't have to put any address in the to, just in the BCC line. If you do that and you type in everyone's address, you can everyone will get a copy. That's what it means, blind carbon copy. I think, not quite sure. That's what I call it. And so everyone will get a copy of that email, but they won't know that everybody else also did. That's pretty cool. been working with that this year, especially like I said, I have to send a lot of emails to students, and obviously, I don't want them to know the other student's address. So it's interesting. Awesome. Anybody else who asked a question want to clarify it?
Nelsy,
Yes.
hi. Could you maybe show us how to add the Google Translate extension, please? 'Cause I think that would be really helpful for me.
Yes, I could. I just, yeah, let me go back. It's like I said, it's under extensions. Sometimes, honestly, the easiest way is to just go to just open up a new window and type in Google extensions. It's also through the store. You can get it through the Google, if you have the Waffle, the Google store. Let me just see. Or you know what I can do? There's a video in one of my stars that I have in presentation that actually says how to add it to it. So I just refer to that.
Thank you.
It's actually a little bit different for everybody depending on who, what kind of setup you have with Google. So, okay, so we're going to do another session, we were going to have a time to practice. So I guess it's my same question. Do you want me to continue? I was going to move on to Google, the contacts, which is very useful, or Google Docs. I guess we can just pick. We have about 15 more minutes before the closing. So we can pick, why don't we just pick, just if you write in the chat, I'll give you the choice. We can do Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Contacts, one of those three. Right, but the 15 minutes was for the closing, so I want to have time for that. So let's just take a quick poll in the chat. So Docs, Sheets, Docs, Sheets. It looks like a pretty even split between Docs and Sheets. So, okay. So why don't we go into Docs then? And like I said, the other things, contacts and things will be on the in the presentation. And I apologize for, like I said, I kind of over plan. So, and I never know how long things, some people want to spend more time on one than the other. So I'm trying to make it useful to you. So we will go ahead into Docs. So if you have a document, that you can use, that would be great. Okay, I'm going to share my screen again. And I'm going to go to document. Okay, so I'm back in my Gmail because that's where it just ended. So I'm just going to go to the app or the Waffle, and I'm going to click on Docs. So when you click on Docs, it will say, do you want to add, do you want to start a new one? Also, the nice thing in documents, in Google Docs, is this template gallery. So let's say, you want to add, or you're helping a kid, then they need a report or a book report, there's already a template. And if you're, if you have an account, through your school system, they may have, like this, you can see Worcester Public Schools, the administrators of the domain created documents that people, they found people use. So let's just say, like we have, our monthly meeting, we have meetings, and everyone kind of follows this PLC department meeting. You know, this is just a general outline of what the meeting will look like, but it already has, you know, our focus and our agenda. It's already set up. So your school might have that. So that's a template. But if it's just general, you know, they have what Google has hundreds of just documents that, you know, templates that have already been created. Letters, resume letters, business letters. Apparently, if you need a resume for your pet, so you could, you know, if you want to just make a quick brochure and you don't want to like design it, there's design already there, and you just have to fill it in. So that's the good news. The bad news is by using a template, you are constrained, like for the newsletter, for example, you are kind of constrained a little bit to what's there as far as like spacing and things. It can be a little hard or tricky to change. It is doable, but it is a little tricky. So for this, we're just going to start a blank one. So you just click start new. And again, I'm going to close out my my Gmail for now, just so that I have less windows open. So in Docs, the first thing, if let's say someone has shared a document with you, I don't know, I'm just giving an example, but let's say they've shared a document with you that's, you know, hundreds or, you know, lots of pages, and you don't want to you know, have to scroll through the whole thing to find just your part. So what you can do is you can go to view, and right now it's in, see where it says show document outline. So let's say if you click that, anything, any big words, headings will appear in the outline. So I'm just going to click this arrow to close it, but let's see. So I'm just going to type in demo for training, and I don't know, just hi, and this is fun. Okay, so if I click, I can either go under view, and it says show document outline, or I can go here, this button here, show document outline. Okay, oh, you know what? Maybe because I'm in it. Maybe because there's not enough yet. And maybe because there's not a name. There we go. Okay. There might not be enough name. Hold on. Maybe I have to do this too. Hold on. I could show you an example with the agendas, because that's okay. Let's try one more time. Let's hope it works. No. So I think there's just not enough information here to show you, but let's say there was, like I've been given you know, documents with different dates, like the agendas. I could just click on document outline, and all the different dates, whatever was at the top of each page, would show up here, and I would click it. That is useful for, you know, like I said, if you're just trying to find a particular date or a particular piece of information. You can also, if you do want to find a particular piece of information, for example, maybe a student's name or ID number, you can do what's called a find. So that's under, well, I just do Control F, and see it says find in document. So let's say I write the word hi, right? So it shows up there. It will highlight it in green. Now you have to be careful in Sheets if you use the Control F or the find. You have to be careful that you tell it to search all pages or that the column that it's in is not hidden. I'll show you what I mean when we go over to sheets, but one thing you can do in the find, if you're not finding it, is you can tell it in docs to match the exact case using regular expressions. And in sheets, you could tell it, you know, are you looking in the whole sheet, all the different tabs on the bottom, this particular sheet, it has to match the contents exactly. And then if you wanted to replace that, I don't know, let's say we wanted to replace that with the word Worcester. I don't know why, but, you know, just an example. So it found the word hi. We're telling it we wanted to replace it with this word. And you could tell it to replace just that one particular word or replace anytime it says hi. And it highlights where it's going to change. Okay. So I'm just going to say replace that one. And there it changes. And then it's still highlighted here because obviously it's in the word this. So I could hit replace again or not. So that is, I've been using that, you know, like I said, in long documents or documents that have a lot of different people's information, and also in sheets, very useful. Another thing that's useful is the accessibility. Again, we have the translate button. So if I wanted to put this in another language, I would say translate this page, and it would translate it. And then, like I said, if you were trying to send this in an email, you could copy and paste it, or you could even save it as this. You could even share it with somebody. That's what this blue button is, no matter what language it is. That's what the blue button is share. So no matter, that's the nice thing about Google, they have buttons like that, no matter what language it's in, it means the same thing, to share or save or whatever it is. I'm just gonna put it back there. Another accessibility under tools is if you wanted to compare this document with another document, you could open up another document and it would put it side by side, and you could compare. Maybe you want to compare the word count, maybe you want to compare how many, you know, how many people you shared it with, that kind of thing. Like I said, we have translate. We also have voice typing. Again, that's a little tricky sometimes. If that's an add-on, you might have to, you can see I have it up here. So you might have to add that on. But there are definitely some good tools to help. And then also here is add-ons. They will tell you add-ons are outside Google's platform. So for example, I use an add-on called Pear Deck that when I was making presentations, I could add Pear Deck, which helps it become more interactive. And so I could create something in Google. I would go to my add-on Pear Deck if I had added it. Like I said, this is a sample count. And then I would be able to make this more interactive and add it to my slide deck. So add-ons, we could really spend a whole session just on add-ons, but we won't. And then I'm just looking for one more button. There should be a button called accessibility. Let me see if I can bring this up. There it is. Aha. Accessibility setting. So if you do have people, that need screen support, you can turn it on. There's also turn on screen magnifier if you have people, who can't see something. And it does say that works with a third party, software. So again, your administrators might not have set that up. But if they have, and that button, if it's not ghosted, you can turn it on and hit OK, and that will allow you to, to magnify it. Also, if you do just want to magnify it in general, you just want to make it bigger, you can go to, again, those three dots of the snowman and see where it says zoom. You can click zoom. You can type in there. You see how it's getting bigger and bigger. Or you can make it, if you need to demagnetize it, make it smaller. If you're on a, if you're on a non-Apple product, then you can do, you just do control and the minus button at the top, and that also makes it bigger or smaller, depending on which way you want to go. Okay, so that is docs. There's one more thing, the drawings, that's under insert. Drawing is a very useful tool because if you, I'll just click on to show you what it looks like. If you use a drawing, you can make the words, you pretty much make it any way you want it to look like. So I can make a text box, and you can put it anywhere on the page in Google Docs. So you go to actions, or you can go right there. There's the box. You can draw your box. Let's just say it won't be this big, and just say test again. And I can fill it. I don't know, make it purple. And then I can make it bigger. Can make this any size. Let's see. Make it 60. It's a good number. And then I can hit, it says save and close. I hit that and it appears because that's where my bar was. But I can put it down here. Wherever I put this, my space bar, that's what that's called. Wherever I put the space bar, that's where, and I hit insert drawing, that's where I can put it. And then if you have one, see it says new or from drive. So I could open up my drive and find that one that I just hit save on and click it in there. So it is nice because you could design something and then insert it into your drawing, into your Google Doc. So that's Google Docs. And then I'm gonna just close this out and just very quickly show you Google Sheets. 2 minutes, okay, maybe a few more. Okay, sorry. So many windows open. Okay, I'm gonna click X that out. Go back to here. Back to Sheets, there we go. I don't think, I'm just clicking on, oh yeah, I don't need that open, okay. Sorry.
Actually, I have a question.
Yes.
And somebody just put it in chat too. It just triggered my question. We do a lot of editing for several people in Google Docs. So how do you set up a Google Doc for editing that everyone can edit?
Oh, editing. Yeah, so a Google Doc is live. If you open a Google Doc, so yeah, so you can edit and you will see, sorry, I should have showed you. You can see on the Google Doc who is editing it because their little circle is if it's someone in your group, and someone that you shared the document with, if you're the owner of the doc, or if they are and they shared it with you, as long as it's shared with the other person, then you can see when they're on it, if you're on it, because their circle will appear next to, up in the right-hand corner.
So whoever you share it with can edit it.
Say again?
So whoever you share it with can
Yeah.
edit the document?
You can set it, when you hit that blue share button, it will say share with who, and you would type in their email address. And then there's also a little black down arrow that you can click next to where it says editing. You can click on that little down arrow and it will give you the option. Do you want this person to be able to edit it? Do you want this person to just view it? Do you want this person? You can actually even transfer ownership of it. I've had some of my staff create something and then I don't want them to own it anymore, so they've transferred it to me. So yes, it is definitely possible. And then the other thing you can do to do live editing is something called comments. In the comment section, you can click, let's say you can highlight a certain part, you can comment, oh, you know, not sure if this should go here. And then you type that in and then you hit enter, return or comment, and then it will, everyone who's that document's been shared with, it will share that comment with. So that's another way people have edited it too.
All right, thank you.
Awesome. And you can do that with sheets too. It's the same thing. You can highlight a sheet. So on sheets, like I said, I was going to go over fill and filter and data validation. Let's see if I can do that, and maybe we'll just shorten up the ending. Okay, so I don't think I need that. Can't go back. Oh, here it is, my sheet. So again, I'm just going to start a new one. Again, it is nice in sheets. They, like the docs, they have templates that you can use. Like I said, maybe your administrators have set up some templates that they want people to use, or that, you know, they let people use. The first thing is you want to name your sheet or doc. One thing, and when you're naming your document, if it's something that you really want to be able to find again, I would suggest that you give it, I've just been calling them tests, but if this was something that I really wanted to get back to, is really important. Not only can I start, but I can also name it, like I name things by date or what it's for in general. So I might say test for training and then put for, 4/10/21. I know it seems kind of, redundant to say that, but it's really kind of, like I said, once you get into Google and you have so many documents and sheets and things have been shared with you, it can get really confusing, where something is or how to get access to it. So in the search, if you, if you can go by date, it will find that date. Or if you put the date in the search bar, it will come up, especially if it's in the title. So that's just another little hint that I've discovered. And then the last thing is if it's like super, super, super important, you can do, AAA and then the title, because obviously it will show up first in the ABC order, or you can give it a number. If you put number 1, it will show up first. So again, just some useful hints. So let's say, I'm just going to type in this first one. Let's just say I had to write X, let's just say, for example, this was something that I wanted to, I had to fill a ton of cells. These are individual boxes, are called cells.
Excuse me, could you share your screen again, please?
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I
know, I was so interested in this. Thank you.
Like, this is exciting to me. I have so much fun with this. So, but okay, can you see it now? Yeah, everyone good. Okay, so we have, let's say we want to share, we have to put, sorry, we want to put this number or whatever word it is, whatever it is, you want to fill like all the rows. You simply click on that little blue box there in the corner, right hand corner, and you just drag it down. And voila! And it also works for going across. So if I wanted, let's say I needed to fill all of these numbers going all the way across. The one thing I caution you with that, it definitely does words, but I'm just going to show you something. See, I put the number 1 there, and if I click on that fill, guess what it's going to do? Huh, I didn't do it. That's funny, because other times when I've done that, it's changed it to, oh, I wonder if I do this. 1, 2, 3. Other times when I've done that with the number, it's changed the number. It's gone up to like 4 or 5. Ah, see, it did it there. See how I had 1, 2, 3, and then I told it to fill it. It kept going. It automatically kept the number going up. It also does that with dates too. So I'm just warning you. Don't, unless you want the date to change, like, let's say you put 4/10/21, it will change it to 4/20, 4/10/22, 4/10/23. So that's kind of a pain. You can turn it on. If you want, turn that off. If you ever have a question and you're not sure, and you're working in Sheet, you can hit the Explore button, or you can hit Help, and you can type in your question. You can say, hey, I want to turn the automated fill button off. It can be a little tricky because you have to kind of know what to ask, but if it's something easy, like how to copy and paste. If you type in copy and paste, it will bring you to the right. So Help, and then the Explore button. So everything can be undone. That's the nice thing. That's just by undoing this back button. So whatever I did last will go away. I can keep doing it. If you really, really mess up and you're like, oh, wait, I want to go back to that version that I did, yesterday or last month, whatever it was, you can click on where it says last edit was seconds ago, and it's going to show the last time that it was saved. So if I click on this arrow, those are all the edits that we made today. So let's just say for some reason I wanted this one. I would just hit restore this version, and it's going to ask you, do you really want to do that? But let's say you just wanted to see something, or you wanted to copy and paste something, you could copy and paste it, or you could copy it and then go back to today and put it, paste it wherever it is that you wanted it. So that's a useful, I've done that. Believe me, I've messed up and I've had to go back and find it in my version history. And also tells you if you shared the document. So in Google Sheets, it's green. If you hit the share button and you've shared it with people, when you go to those last edits, it will tell all the people that have edited it and what they've done. You can actually see their changes. This is good if you're helping a teacher out and they shared something with students and they want to see what the students have done, or other teachers. There's a nice feature on, well, there's lots, but one of them I said I was going to do is called data validation, which means that if a person that you shared it with, or even if you type in something, you can tell it to change to a certain color or to do something. So let's say I want in this particular one, that particular cell, I just click on it. So it says list from range. So let's just say the number, right? Because that's what I put. So I said between 1 and 5. So if it's the number between 1 and 5, what do I want it to do? I want it to say custom. Sorry, no, I'm gonna go back. There it is. Why is it 1? Okay, and then I hit save. Okay, so it's telling them that they have to put in a number between 1 and 3. The other thing that you can do with it, once you get that in, you can tell it to conditional format. There it is. So now, if the format cell text contains, let's just say 3, you can tell it to pick a color, of course, like purple, and then it's done. So anytime you see the number 3, it would show if I type in 3 there. Well, if I applied it to the whole row. Sorry, I should have applied it to the whole row. Okay, now it's done. And that 3 should appear. Oh, maybe because I didn't, I'm just gonna do it again. Oh, because I didn't do that. Okay, 3. Bill, purple. There it is. So now it's changed. So you just have to be careful, like make sure that you click on the whole row. All right, I know we have 3 minutes left. I'm all done. Like I said, I could talk for hours.